Hello YouTube. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about the shapes of cities. Now I know that might seem weird, but one thing that I've thought a lot about is like what makes a city and like why do they have certain shapes and boundaries. Because for example, a lot of the times if you live right outside of a city, you'll say like, oh, I'm from here. Like you might live in Connecticut and say, oh, I'm from New York City. But that might not necessarily be true. So I'm going to start by showing you Boston and the outline of Boston. Now normally I like to use the new Google Maps, but this older version has better outlines for cities. So everything in pink here is Boston. Now, if you notice, okay, it doesn't look that strange, but there are some things like that you might wonder about. Like, first of all, why are these islands, like this one connected to this city? Why is this part of Boston? And then you've got this weird little chunk over here of Allston and Brighton. So that's kind of bizarre. And so there's this town Brookline, which is sort of this extra area here that's completely surrounded by Boston. Now, that's a little weird. Okay, fine. So Boston is a slightly strange shaped city, but there are some that are honestly like much weirder. Like let's go to Arizona for a second and let's look at the shape of Phoenix. Now, this is weird, right? So first of all, let's see how big the city actually is within the state of Arizona. It's noticeable. It's pretty massive. And you'll notice that it sort of goes almost directly up and down. But now when we look at the satellite image, you can sort of see, okay, so this is, the downtown area, but Phoenix itself includes like miles and miles and miles of desert and mountains up here. Why is that? But at the same time, this area, which is also, pretty populated, is not actually a part of the city. So that strikes me as a little bit odd. But probably the weirdest city, I would say, is Los Angeles. It's a little bit hard to tell from the map, but LA, for example, downtown LA is like right here. And you have all these little strange carve-outs from the cities, like Beverly Hills is its own city, but it's completely surrounded by Los Angeles. You have Santa Monica, and then just a few towns over in here, and then you have weird things like this entire section. This is still technically Los Angeles, but it's barely connected. You have to go up this narrow, bizarre strip to to reach the rest of the city. So it's kind of strange. And once again, within the city limits, we have this huge sort of, I'll show you, like unpopulated mountain. So it's just, it's really bizarre. And then you start thinking, okay, well, what is it about, about a city that would make you, I don't know, like define, yourself as being there or not. So if we look, let's think we wanted to go from northern LA, let's just pick Neon Way up here, to the southern part of the city, which is, let's see. So let's say we want to get all the way down here. We'll go 1 West 37th Street. Let's see how long it would take. Okay, 38, no, that's not even, see there's another, okay, I'm just going to drag. We're down here in San Pedro. Okay, so both of these little areas, though it might be hard to tell right now because the pink shroud is gone, they're both within the city of Los Angeles, technically, on either end. But look, they're 47 miles apart. Without traffic, it takes 52 minutes to get between those two areas. So is it really practical to say that, that this is the same city as this and downtown is over here, even though you have all these, weird carve-out areas? I don't know. I think that it's a really interesting thing to think think about, okay, look, here's the directions overlaid, with the city. And as you can see, we really have stayed um, within the boundaries of the city. And the more you zoom out, well, I guess you can't really tell, but once again, LA is really quite the massive city. So I think it's really interesting to think about it. You know, who actually decides why a city is shaped a certain way and what the boundaries are? Because to me, a lot of times it seems relatively haphazard, I guess. It doesn't necessarily make sense to me why certain communities are or are not a part of your metropolitan defined city.